Hey guys, it's Gretchen from Gretchen's Bakery, and yes, you guessed it, the Mirror Glaze Recipe is here, and I have broken it down to make it easy for you to understand and replicate beautiful mirror glazed cakes and pastries. But that is not all. I have two versions, the original gelatin version that has been spreading around the internet since Olga Noskova's amazing cakes hit the scene. I'm not really sure who to credit for this actual recipe though, since she is keeping hers a tight secret, but it seems everyone is using this same recipe from what I've seen. In addition, I have a vegetarian version that is made with agar-agar, so be sure to watch to the end for how to make it that way. In order to show you this technique, I of course had to make a molded mousse bomb to get the full effect of the entire presentation. So, not only do we have a vegetarian version of the mirror glaze, but this entire mousse and even the jelly inside is made from agar. For those who are here just for the mirror glaze and don't care to watch the making of the entire mousse pâte bomb, skip forward in the video to these times here. But for those wanting to get the full tutorial from start to finish, well, here we go. First, we have to prepare the raspberry jelly, and you will need corn syrup, raspberry puree, granulated sugar, agar powder, and water. Combine the agar powder with the granulated sugar and mix it to combine. In a heavy bottom sauce pot, combine the water, corn syrup, and raspberry puree over a medium heat and stir it together. Once the mixture reaches about 150 degrees Fahrenheit, and you really don't need a thermometer, it's just when the mixture is hot to the touch, you can then add the agar and the sugar mixture. Continue heating to a full rolling boil and let it boil for about 3 minutes. Pour the jelly into a plastic-wrapped lined sheet pan and let it set at room temperature or in the refrigerator. For the mousse bombs, I have baked a chocolate cake recipe in a 9 by 13 inch pan, and I have to cut out discs that are exactly the same size of the silicone mold that I'll be molding the mousse into. And it really doesn't matter what pan that you bake your cake in, since we're really just cutting out rounds that will then get trimmed to about 1/4 inch thick. Next, we will prepare the chocolate coffee mousse. You will need heavy cream, eggs, coffee extract, granulated instant coffee, and sugar. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention chocolate. Duh, you can't have chocolate mousse without chocolate. Come on, Gretchen. Okay, so I have whipped my heavy cream to medium soft peaks and reserve that in the refrigerator. Combine the eggs, sugar, instant coffee in a medium mixing bowl and set it over a double boiler. This is the pâte bomb part of the mousse recipe. Whip it smooth and don't worry about those coffee granules, they will dissolve in a minute. Keep whipping until the mixture reaches 170 degrees Fahrenheit, and you'll see that it starts to get thicker and the eggs may even look like they're sort of scrambling. You actually don't want them to scramble, since that would mean you overcooked them, which is why it's a really great idea to use a thermometer for your first couple times making the pâte bomb. At this point, you can get the agar ready, and agar is prepped differently than gelatin in that we are going to bloom it in hot water and not cold. Let it stand for 5 minutes, then get it to a small sauce pot and bring it to a boil. Let it boil for 1 minute to activate, and then add it to the hot pâte bomb, whisk it smooth, and then add the warmed chocolate and whisk everything together. Continue whipping it until the mixture is cooling down and it reaches about 80 degrees Fahrenheit. And at that point, you can then add a large spoonful of that reserved whipped cream just to lighten the mix, and then fold in the rest. You must work quickly at this point to get the mousse piped into the molds before it sets, and then cut out the raspberry jelly if you are using those and insert them into the centers of the mousse. Or you can use fresh raspberries instead, like I'm doing here on a few of them, or really nothing at all, and it will still taste great, I promise. Top with the remaining mousse and then place a chocolate cake disc onto each one. Get the entire thing into the freezer to set, and now we can finally prepare the mirror glaze. First, I will show you the traditional gelatin version, and you will need cold water and gelatin powder, another measure of water here, sweetened condensed milk, sugar, corn syrup, and white chocolate couverture. First, bloom the gelatin in the cold water and let it stand for about 5 minutes. In a heavy bottom sauce pot, combine the corn syrup, the sugar, and then that other measure of water and bring it to a boil. Let it boil rapidly for about a minute and then remove it from the heat. Add that bloomed gelatin, which at this point will look a bit slushy. Add the condensed milk and then pour the entire mixture over the white chocolate and whisk everything smooth. Strain it through a mesh sieve into a clean container, and you can use it to pour over cakes and pastries once it has cooled to 80 or 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Or you can store it in an airtight container for up to 10 days in the refrigerator. Just rewarm it to a pourable consistency. By now, the mousse cakes should be frozen, so get them unmolded. I have colored my mirror glaze a deep red, and I also mixed a gold luster dust with some vodka for a cool added decor. This part is completely optional, but wait until you see the effect. And here is another way of making a gold marbled effect by pouring a small amount of that gold luster dust mixture into the mirror glaze. I think both ways looked really cool, and I hope you do too. Comment below and let me know which way you like better. Okay, now let's check out how to make the mirror glaze with agar-agar, and you will need the same ingredients, but this time it is hot water and agar powder instead of gelatin powder. Another measure of water, sweetened condensed milk, sugar, corn syrup, and white chocolate couverture. Combine the agar with the hot water and let it stand for 5 minutes. In a heavy bottom sauce pot, combine the corn syrup, the sugar, and the other measure of water, and now you can add the bloomed agar and bring everything to a boil. Let it boil rapidly for 1 minute and then remove it from the heat and add the condensed milk. Pour the entire mixture over the white chocolate just like we did before and then whisk smooth. Strain it into a clean container, and the same rules apply for the storage and the use of the agar mirror glaze as for the gelatin version. The mirror glaze can be stored for up to a week in the refrigerator. Simply warm it to 80 or 90 degrees before pouring over your cakes. So I hope you guys liked this video, and if you did, don't forget to give me a like. I hope I took some of the mystery and the fear out of making these fancy show-stopping cakes. It's really not as difficult as it looks, so stick with me and I will show you the way to making the best recipes just like the pros do it. If you are new here to my channel, I would love it if you subscribe, and also visit me on my blog at gretchensbakery.com for more great recipes and tons of baking science information as well. Alright everybody, thanks for watching and I'll see you again soon.